You are standing in your kitchen looking for your keys, and you say it out loud. Where did I put my keys? Nobody is there. Nobody answers. You don't even notice you've done it. Most people assume talking to yourself is a sign that something is a little off, a quirky habit, maybe even a symptom of something to worry about. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain has been narrating your life since before you could speak. It never really stops. And the voice in your head, the one reading these words right now, is one of the most powerful tools your species ever developed. This is called inner speech, and it might be one of the most important things your brain ever learned to do. Think about it. Every plan you've made, every argument you've rehearsed, every pep talk you've given yourself before walking into a room, all of it happened in language. Not images, not vague feelings, words. Your brain didn't just evolve to think, it evolved to think in sentences, directed at an audience of one. You. So where did this voice come from? Psychologist Lev Vygotsky studied something most adults barely remember about themselves. If you watch young children playing alone, they talk constantly, out loud, to themselves. Now I put the block here, now the truck goes over there. Vygotsky proposed that this isn't random chatter. It's the early external version of something that will eventually move inside your head. Children, he argued, use speech first to communicate with others, and only later learn to use that same tool to guide their own behavior. At first, this guidance is spoken aloud. Over time, it becomes quieter, a whisper, a mumble, and eventually, for most people, it goes fully silent, internalized as the voice you hear when you think. But here's where it gets strange. That voice never actually goes away. It just goes underground. Neuroscientists using brain imaging have found that when people engage in inner speech, the same regions of the brain activate as when they speak out loud. Broca's area, a region involved in producing language, lights up whether the words leave your mouth or not. Your brain, in a very real sense, is still talking. It's just keeping the volume at 0. So why does this matter? What is inner speech actually for? Researcher Charles Fernyhough, who has spent years studying this exact question, found that inner speech plays a major role in something called self-regulation. That's a fancy way of saying it helps you control your own behavior, especially in moments when self-control is hardest. Think about the last time you were about to do something impulsive and a voice in your head said, "Wait." Or the last time you talked yourself through a stressful task, step by step, like narrating your own life to keep yourself on track. That's not your imagination being dramatic. That's a genuine cognitive tool, doing exactly what it evolved to do. And it gets even more useful under pressure. A study led by psychologist Gary Lupyan found that people who talk to themselves out loud while searching for an object, repeating the object's name, performed significantly better at finding it than people who searched silently. Saying keys, keys, keys out loud actually sharpened visual attention, helping the brain prioritize what to look for. In other words, talking to yourself isn't a distraction from the task. For your brain, it can actually be the task working correctly. Now here's the twist that almost nobody expects. Researchers have found that how you talk to yourself matters just as much as whether you talk to yourself at all. Psychologist Ethan Kross has studied something called distanced self-talk. Essentially, talking to yourself in the second or third person instead of the first. Instead of thinking, "I'm so nervous about this presentation," try thinking, "You've got this, you've prepared for this," or even using your own name. "Sarah, you know this material." It sounds like a small shift, a tiny grammatical trick, but Cross's research found that this kind of self-talk creates psychological distance from your own emotions, almost like briefly stepping outside yourself to offer advice to someone else. And that distance can reduce anxiety, improve performance under stress, and help people regulate difficult emotions more effectively than first-person self-talk. Your brain, it turns out, is more willing to listen to good advice when it sounds like it's coming from someone else, even when that someone else is also you. This might explain something you've probably experienced without ever putting words to it. Have you ever given a friend advice that was exactly what you needed to hear yourself? Have you ever found it easier to calm someone else down during a crisis than to calm yourself down during the same kind of crisis? Your brain has two settings, one for advising others, one for surviving your own emotions in real time. And the gap between those two settings might be smaller than you think, if only you could trick your brain into thinking the advice wasn't for you. So think about your ancestors for a moment. Before written language, before complex tools, before any of the technology you rely on today, your ancestors needed a way to plan, to remember sequences, to talk themselves through danger, through hunts, through long stretches of solitude where no other human voice was nearby. The ability to generate your own guidance, your own company, your own motivational speech wasn't a glitch in the system. It was the system, a survival tool that didn't require anyone else to be present. In a world where humans were sometimes alone for days, the voice in your head wasn't just useful. It might have been essential. Now think about your life today. You still talk to yourself constantly, while driving, while cooking, while trying to remember a password, while arguing with someone in your head who isn't even in the room. Most of the time, you don't notice it's happening because it's been happening your entire life. It's the background hum of being a conscious human being. And on the rare occasions you catch yourself doing it out loud, muttering instructions to yourself in an empty kitchen, narrating your own actions like a quiet documentary, there's a part of you that feels a little embarrassed, as if you got caught doing something strange. But you didn't get caught doing something strange. You got caught doing something ancient, something that helped your ancestors survive long stretches of isolation, push through difficult tasks, and regulate emotions long before anyone had a word for self-talk at all. So the next time you catch yourself muttering under your breath, working something out loud, or giving yourself a stern little pep talk before doing something hard, don't feel embarrassed. That's not a malfunction. That's one of the oldest, most useful tools your brain has ever built. Quietly working, quietly guiding, talking you through your own life, one sentence at a time. You are standing in your kitchen, looking for your keys, and you say it out loud, "Where did I put my keys?" And this time, you smile a little. Because now you know exactly who's talking, and exactly why it's been talking to you your whole life.